I don't really need to think about it. Let me show you. Anything. I really never hesitated. Donjon et Dragon. Sure. Dragon and Dungeon. Dungeon and Dragon. You don't really know it? I don't know. Gymnastique, la culture sans claquage. Notre format culturel qui muscle votre curiosité. Retrouvez un nouvel épisode tous les jeudis. Gymnastic. This is a culture without making a fall. This new format in the form of a culture magazine that truly, tickles your curiosity to be muscled up. Find new edition and episode that would actually come out every Thursday. Un petit bras, quelques bons amis, une infinité de possibilités, au roi de l'imagination de tout. A tiny box, some of a good friends, almost, endless and finite possibility thanks to the imagination of all, this game role-playing, for a long period of time considered as a lobby of geek to be the fringe culture, that would be just, crazy fringe lunatic idea to be a lullaby for nerdy people. Since then, this actually makes the new changes to face a new complexion by making its a whole metamorphosis and rendition to be renewed. This new reputation it should actually be, especially has its aspect about irrevocable fascination in terms of genre. Dungeon and Dragon. Dungeon in English, Dungeon. I don't know what else I can actually say there. Dungeon, if you ever actually had any type of idea of the fantasy, there was a Dungeon and Dragon. Dragon auf Deutsch Drache, right? Drache ist, normalerweise, wenn Sie eine Rapunzel gesehen hatten, dann können Sie das wirklich verstehen, Rapunzel. Diese Drachen, normalerweise hat eine Feuer. Feuer, selbst Gewürfen hatte. Dungeon ist wirklich sehr abgeschottete Gebiete, wie eine, auf Deutsch also Dungeon. Dungeon is really kind of place, limited, isolated, that would actually be a place where you can actually, detain some people, because this is part of a palatial instrument and edifice that would be annexed to the next building. But it's been really kind of remote and a distant area. You can actually be shackled inside the room. If you ever watch the mid-old age, watch a movie, that you would actually notice it. But let me actually go back to it. The testimonies are coming from the great figures of the pop culture to cite the mastodon, the grandiose influence that had been ever more fantasized through the major influence in the creation of theirs, are always there to be beautified as a part of a legion, as an alliance, to invoke more and more interest and necessitate the enthusiasm that would actually provide a sufficient adrenaline. Yeah. Well, I don't know what else I can actually say. If I ever actually look it up in a dictionary, dungeon would actually be isolated palatial edifice that has been normally part of the grandiose castle, but that's been particularly used for detention of a certain prisoners, or if you ever actually had a chance to watch Rapunzel, you would see that this lady has been on top of the dungeon, who've been isolated and detained to be disconnected from the rest of the universe, right? She had a long hair laid down through the dungeon. And Dungeon and Dragon is really a popular fantasy movie. Dragon is really the someone creature looking really similar to a dinosaur or a lizard, but it has a big mouth to actually flow out fire. Fire would normally comes out, I don't know, a wyvern. Wyvern is a part of a dragon. W-Y-V for victory, E-R-N. Wyvern. Wyvern, or the last time I actually mentioned the Virago. V for victory, I-R-A-G-O. Virago is really a someone persnickety lady who can actually be petulant. But this actually has its origin from dragon, Virago and wyvern. Yeah,